Good evening.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Team Matt's pre-match press conference ahead of our Group B opener against the Bangkok Shinobis. I'm your press officer, Liam Chapman. We're joined today by our manager, Matt Lawrence. Before we begin, first a reminder to switch off your mobile phones or turn them on silent. For questions, please raise your hand and speak when you're given the microphone. The floor is open to questions in English, Japanese, Thai and Hindi. Audio translations are available using the channels in front of you. Let's begin.
Sarah King from BBC Sport. Matt, this is your first game of the tournament and you're facing a side that beat you last season in Argentina. What's your mindset going into this one?
Simple enough. We want to win the game. And sure, having lost to the Bangkok Shinobis last season, there may be some extra bite in that motivation to get the win, but still a situation where not much different. We just want to win, and we're up against a fantastic side today.
Akihiro Tanaka, Pokemon Times Tokyo.
Akihiro Tanaka,
マットさ
Pokemon
ん
Times
ラティ
Tokyo.
アスが再びシノビスの
Matt,
メガラティオス
Latias
と
will
対戦
once
しま
again
す。
face Shinobis.
どのような戦略で
How do
挑
you
むつ
plan
も
to
りです
handle
か
the matchup with Megalatios?
Well, yes, Latias did feature against the Bangkok Shinobis last season and unfortunately wasn't able to make an impact. No promises that she will return, but she's definitely eager to one-up what happened last time, and she's definitely in contention to play. And as far as possibly facing Megalatios, that's one Pokemon. That's a Pokemon we're definitely putting a lot of work for in preparation for, and that's going to certainly be a headline if both of them feature. As far as how do I plan to handle it, that's a question to ask after the battle.
Ravi Mehra, ESPN India. कोच बैंकॉक शिनोबिस इस टूर्नामेंट की फेवरेट
Coach,
टीम मानी जा
Bangkok
रही है।
Shinobis are considered tournament favorites.
क्या यह आपकी टीम
Does
पर
that put
दबाव
pressure
डालता
on
है?
your team?
Well, for this, as an isolated game, there's not the pressure on us. We are the underdogs. You've lost the only time we played Bangkok Shinobis. Titan has taken them to a final before. So for this specific game, there isn't so much pressure on us, but but as a collective, there's pressure on, as a collective set of games. There's pressure for us to go through, and this is a small part of it. But certainly not a game where there's hardly any pressure on us for this specific game. But in a wider context, there is. And there's still small amount of pressure also amongst ourselves to put us on a performance to try and win, and perhaps we're expected to give them a game, having from on the outside, having done so last season.
สุพอเทรวัฒเนอร์ค่ะ Bangkok Daily Sport ทีมแมตช์ซ้อมรวมกับชิโน
Team
บิ
Mats
ที่
are
นิวยอร์ก
sharing
เรดบูล
training
คุณรู้สึกยัง
facilities
ไง
with the
ที่ต้องแบ่งพื้น
Shinobis
ที่
at
ฝึก
New
ซ้อม
York
กับทีม
Red
คู่แข่ง
Bulls. How does it feel to train alongside your opponents?
Well, was certainly a surprise when I found out. We made a joke about it. Both of us being like Jurgen Klopp standing on the halfway line watching the opposition. I would expect Echt, and in fact, from what I have seen, we've both been prioritizing ourselves. We have just as much vulnerability in regards to potential spying or scouting of what each other are doing. was certainly a bit of an elephant of the room feel for the team as well. However, the good thing is this is our first battle, and that's going to be out the way. And compared to something like if we were playing T10S on the penultimate or last day of the group stage.
Carlos Mendez from Poke Sports America. Matt, Bruno joining as your fighting coach was a surprise. How has he influenced your preparation?
Well, yes, Bruno has been a good influence on the team. It's been a great asset for Infernape and the other Pokemon who can use physical fighting moves, and bringing some extra experience into the team and the coaches. But that's excellent. He's integrated very, very well amongst the group. Not to mention his intensity and resilience has been great too.
Emma Zhao from Global Trainer Network in Canada. Ditto was a standout in your last clash against Shinobis. Can we expect to see it again?
Well, no promises on the lineups like I hinted at earlier, but as you said, Ditto made a good impact last time we played the Bangkok Shinobis and is definitely in contention to feature again here. So I won't give an indication in terms of where it is in the pecking order, but it's in contention.
ユタ石川ポケモンリーグプレス。昨年は
Yuta
ゾロアークのト
Ishikawa,
リックで苦し
Pokemon
みま
League
した。
Press.
今年は対
Last
策
year,
がありますか？
Celesteela's setup really troubled your team. Do you have a plan for that this time?
Oh yeah, that Celesteela moment you referred to last season did end up leading up to. It was a big moment leading up to the game slipping from our grasp. Each seed certainly clouded my my thinking on that next step. But we've definitely got a plan for Celesteela. As demonstrated in the last tournament, T10S has used it very well defensively and has managed to get 5 knockouts with it on its debut. But we're well aware of it, and I think that moment last season just highlights even when you're giving a game to a player like T10S, if there's any gaps in your or plays or short or cut innings or limitations, then even in a losing situation, T10S can exploit gaps in the play or even our own facilities of Pokemon.
Nathan Price, Sky Sports Pokemon. Team Mats have had mixed tournament records, group exits and a couple of quarter-final runs. What would count as success this time around?
Well, definitely being a competitive knockout team is the bare minimum. If we still not got to win it in the knockouts before, so we might at the very minimum a win in the knockouts could be a success. Definitely a step in the right direction in the long term. Quarterfinals is round about what we're aiming for. If we can get at a win in the quarterfinals, then that will be good. However, we are also aiming for a fairy tale run. And our aim is to create our own luck on that. But I would expect the press and the experts to if I was to get any kind of win in the quarterfinals, then that would be huge. Success is probably a record. It would probably be us breaking a record in terms of where we finish in the tournament.
अनन्या पटेल, पोकेमोन प्रीमियर इंडिया। क्या प्रोफेसर ओक की नई भूमिका
Has
से
Professor
आपकी
Oak's new
रणनीतिक
role as
तैयारी
technical
में
assistant
बदलाव आया
changed your
है?
strategic approach?
Not really. Certainly, with Professor Oak working closer to me than perhaps he did in his previous role, I do definitely take on the data he finds. It's definitely a boost to have him. But I wouldn't say he's changed my strategic approach too much. But again, nothing but the highest regards for him.
Edward Rochen from BBC Sport Thailand คุณรู้สึกว่าการแข่งขันที่ยากลำบากนี้จะช่วยผลัก
Do
ดั
you
น
feel
คุณ
this
ให้
tough
ก้าวไปสู่การ
competition
เริ่
will
มต้น
give
ฤ
you
ดู
a
กา
push
ล
to
ได้ดี
get
หรือ
off
ไม่
to a good start to the
หรือคุณ
season?
คิดว่าเกมที่กดดัน
Or do
ข
you
นาด
think
นี้
such
จะ
a
ทำให้
high
ผู้เล่น
pressure
ของ
game
คุณ
will
ผิดหวัง
worry your players?
Well, we were drawn in a tough group. Finalists, 2 semi-finalists, and 2 potential players that are seen as dark horses to make to overachieve in the tournament. But at the same time, what that can bring us is a bigger aspiration to go to our limits and beyond. Try and get the best to help get the best out of ourselves. As far as this much pressure might disappoint our players, I don't think so. But I can't guarantee anything. But we're going to certainly make a name for ourselves.
光直原。ポケモン7分の24。次の試合に勝つのはどれくらい簡単だと
How
思い
easy
ま
do
す
you
か
think it will be to win the next match?
This will definitely not be an easy match at all. If anything, this could be the hardest fixture of the group. T10S, fantastic trainer, and he's always made good use of his squad, including going to a final where he took 2-time champion to a close finish. So it's definitely not going to be easy. But that being said, if we do the right things at the right times, if we are able to successfully create our own luck, then there's a path where the game can start being easy for us. Or if there was some shortcomings in Bangkok Shinobis' play and then we can then exploiting that could help for an easier task. But at best, it's easy by name.
Santiago Barbero Forte YX Exports, New Season, New Squad, How far do you see team match advancing in this competition?
Well, we certainly believe that we are a knockout competitive team. I have been backed in terms of improving the coaching staff, getting in a Pokemon that I feel does make us a competitive team with all the right assets. So I certainly have been backed in the resources. So I definitely see us finishing in somewhere within the knockouts. But as I said, we will aspire to pull off a fairy tale run. But objectively, I would expect somewhere in the knockouts, and another group stage exit would be a disaster for me and the team as a whole.
Rohit Sharma, Poke Times in India. Question in Hindi. क्या T10S के खिलाफ खेलते समय आपके मन में कोई निजी प्रतिद्वंद्विता या
Is there any
अतिरिक्त प्रेरणा
personal
होती
rivalry
है?
or extra motivation facing T10S?
Well, I don't think Inca, we or myself have earned the title to be a rival of T10S. He's got more to do. He's already competing for the greatest honor. But on the rivalry aspect, if we were to pull off something memorable tomorrow, then maybe we can talk. And it's not my place to say, but I'm sure people will have their opinions and extra motivation. Certainly, the win alone is enough motivation, but there's going to be for those that were here with us last season that will remember being involved in that defeat. That will likely come as an extra source of motivation, and hopefully they can spin that to a positive. Certainly not a rivalry tag earned, and
We have time for one more question. Let's hand the microphone to the woman with the black hair in the third row.
María González, Pokémon Global News. Juve mentioned the crowd at Rose Bowl. How important will fan energy be tomorrow?
Well, our old energy will certainly be a boost to for both sides, and I can assure you that an atmosphere on our end and maybe the neutrals as well will definitely does help aspire the Pokemon to go for the win. The crowd is certainly out of our hands, and the game's out of the crowd's hands, but there is an influence there, and on my end, it certainly does help in my determination to get the win. So, and with Pokemon being a popular sport on the planet, and Los Angeles as a city being one of the most popular out there, I would expect an electric crowd, and I'm excited for it.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you to all the journalists for your questions, and to Coach Lawrence for joining us. Team Mats will face the Bangkok Shinobis at the Rose Bowl tomorrow night. Best of luck to both teams.